Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. And today I kind of have a quick little video for you because I was figuring out, what is it that I still have to do to this engine, right? I have to dress it. So I have like this, like the AC pulley, right? I'm kind of going through that and thinking about the cover of this. You also have the distributor. You've got your power steering pump. And then again, on your other side, you've got a whole another set of goodies, right? There's your small pump or air pump, whatever. I'm not making a video here for anybody. I was just kind of going through it, seeing about, okay, where does all these little things have to go? On this engine, what all do I have to do? And, that's kind of what it's all about. But then I found out, really, I've got an issue because I have that top dead center deal, right? That little yellow thing right there, it's actually not supposed to be yellow. It should be black, and there should be a cable attached to it. And there was a cable attached to it at one point. I mean, that's a close-up of it. I have to go back over to this thing and see where it connects and everything on the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of go through it and document it. Again, hey, thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate it. We're kind of pushing the numbers up there. We're going to have maybe a big event, right, when I try to start this car for the first time. That's kind of what this is all about. My name's Tony. This is TonyLiveTV. I took my car completely apart, every single piece, and I'm putting it all back together. Right? So I'm down to the engine right now. Now, I'm not doing the transmission. The transmission is being done somewhere else. We'll be getting into that here shortly because I got to get that ready, right? But otherwise, I'm doing everything. Every single part of this vehicle I've taken apart, and I'm putting it all back together, and I'm going to try to start it live on YouTube. And I'd like you guys to join me for that. Let's just get this one out of the way. I've got a lot of things I got to get done this week. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just get over there and go tackle that. All right? Meet me over there. So that's the sending unit. There's a close-up of that. Just like that. Got your sending unit itself, and that's held in with that top nut right there. Right? That top nut. But then underneath that, you see there's another nut. And then it looks like a locking ring of some sort, and then the clip that goes into it. As long as I don't touch that one nut there and leave that one tight, it should be, then the position of that sensor, if I ever got a new one, would go right there. I should be able to just drop it in and nothing had changed. That's what I'm hoping that I get to do right here. And to do that, that nut right there is an 8mm. This was not on very tight. Because this top part right here, according to what our thing shows, that top part is part of the sensor. So it should just come out, and sure enough it does. Until the sensor itself is all worn out. Most likely yours is too, or not functioning. What happened to this is it was still attached to this, but not to the inside. This might be able to be repinned. I might be able to do that and still use this sensor, because you can't buy them. So, and then you notice that this is all yellow around that. It's all been, this part of it is probably set. So we're not going to touch any of this stuff at all. It's a little dirty inside there. Some very dirty on the inside, dirty here. So I'm just going to wipe this down, clean this all up, and leave leave the bracket right where it is. And after a little bit of cleaning, that's what it looks like. Not that bad, right? There it is. It's all clean and ready for a new sensor if we can ever find one. Otherwise, it's not needed. Well, I'm showing off how I clean things. You can see that I got all the little bit of sealant that was off there. Can't even tell it was on, right? There's from the other side. I told you I was going to clean that. All right, so in my engine removal video, I think it's the number 2 video, Whatever it is, I'll have a link up here at the top to that video. But I marked all these different lines, right? These are vacuum lines. And this one here in my previous video, I just called this AB, but it's not. I don't know what tag that is, but I know exactly where it goes. It goes up on the intake manifold. I identified it in my last video. And then the same thing with that one. We documented these vacuum lines. But we have electrical, right? We have the one that plugs into the distributor, right? And this one, which is that top dead center. And I marked it A, B. And you can see what they did here, or, you know, it looks like maybe somebody tried to repair it maybe once or whatever. But again, there's probably no need for it since, you know, I don't even know if the Mercedes even has that test equipment. But anyways, when you track it all down, you find out where it goes and goes around and it ends up right here. All right, so it ends up inside this. And this is where they would do the diagnostics right there. So that is all part of that. Then you have all those wires, and gosh, who knows where all of it ends up and what it all does, I don't know. Maybe I'll learn about it at some point, but I know that right now the T.D.C part of it, which is this, is I'm not going to be doing. So what I might do, just so we know exactly how this goes together, is I may just leave it on the vehicle and just take this and just roll it up and tie it to the back and then label it. So if I die or something like that and say, what's this wire? You know how many times you buy a vehicle and you go, what's this wire go to? Right? I see it all the time. So I'll make sure I identify it, and certainly I'm going to have a video of it. Well, let's see what the heck it looks like. Just exactly how this thing works here. Wasn't like it was tight. Oh, that's right. I did kind of loosen this actually on the engine teardown because I didn't know where I, you know, what this was or how it reacted here. So, but now I can lift it up a little bit. I might have to disconnect this wire here. That's a little bit tight here. Whenever I take things like that apart, I like to use something like this to help me, just in case. They look like we're okay. Black one on top. A green and yellow is under that. And then just the terminal itself. Now we can turn it around. So that's what it looks like up underneath. This thing here would just pop out, and I could remove it right now, but I'm gonna just leave that in there so everything stays intact exactly the way it was. And I'm just gonna tuck that wire back in, loop it up, tie it off, and label it. Of course, it's easy to see what it's for. The other part of that connection has wires that end up going into this thing right here. That black wire right there, that's your coil wire that goes into your distributor. There's probably a better view. So that's basically all that thing does. Your actual connection should still work. This is just the top dead center. They probably wouldn't be able to get, for example, the RPM or, you know, which is top dead center or whatever, because it works on wavelengths or whatever. But what I was looking at is I was thinking, you know, I feel like you could use a different vehicle because all this thing is just the coil. But of course, you know, it depends on the ohms and things like that end up going in there. But that's how the end of it came out. I mean, that's all there is to it. You've got basically, you know, a thing that senses and turns on a magnet, basically, is what I believe is how it works. And then every time it goes around, and then that flywheel's got, or not the flywheel, but that hub part has the cutouts and things like that for detecting where this thing is. And then you set the distance. You know, this is all set for that distance. But I bet you, if you had the equipment and you knew how the original one was, you could get a feeler gauge or something in there and get it adjusted and just use this attachment. You know, I'm talking about just this bracket part of it. The sensor, no. But the bracket, I wouldn't see why you couldn't use that part of it. But, well, that's it, you guys. I mean, that's all I did for today is I just finished it up, so here we are, and it's all done. That's what you think. Now you know where it all goes. I know where it all goes. It's all documented, so that was what this video is all about. Again, I want to thank you guys for subscribing, and if you watched it till the end, good for you, because, yeah, I get it. It's a top dead center, and I said, yeah, you know, deleting the top dead center. Yeah, you probably were figuring I'm counting on the one in the back, but no. I'm talking about the one on the front. You probably have never used yours, or, you know, like I said, I don't even know if Mercedes still has that kind of a connection. I don't know that much about it. I know that you can get a multimeter and put it in those pins, and you can actually run your own tests. Yeah, if you just know how it all works. So that's it. You know, that's it for today's video. I just, as I said before, I'm documenting everything about this vehicle. You know, so there's no questions. It'll be the most documented 560 SL in the world. That's what I believe is going to happen. So, hey, if you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button and then the bell and everything, because let's start this car live. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to do it. So until then, I'll catch you on the next one.